Hello everybody, Gene out here at the range. Got the Springfield Hellcat Pro Comp. That is a very big name for a semi-compact gun. And as you know, if you've watched the channel before, I was notoriously a hater of the Hellcat. I could not stand it, in so much that I didn't even finish the review on it. I sold it almost as fast as I got it. You know, ergonomically, I just didn't like it. It didn't work for me. I understand it was a compact gun. I totally get it. But there were other compact guns that were less snappy, more accurate, had better triggers. I just overall did not like it. So when they released the new line of the Hellcat Pro, I was not the first one to jump on board. In fact, it's been out for quite some time now, the Pro has, and I haven't even thought to pick it up. Like, it hasn't even crossed my mind, because I just didn't like the original one that much. So when the comped version come out, and that's what everybody wants these days, I'm not sure I'm completely on board with the comp thing now. And a lot of the reason for that is because I think that it adds undue stress and abnormal wear and tear on the gun. But I haven't shot one enough to prove that, but I believe that probably is the case. Either way, if it shoots flat like that Prodigy comp did, you know, and you didn't put 8,000 rounds a year down range with it, I could see it being beneficial for you. Anyway, it came out, I went in and picked it up. Surprisingly, it actually feels good in the hand. Now, I think that's because it is a larger gun now over the original Hellcat, of course. And it did come with a 15 round mag, which I have loaded up with the wonderful New Republic ammunition. If you ask me why I'm shooting cheaper ammunition, it's because you didn't buy me any. And I have to buy all my own ammunition. So I do have the 15 rounder loaded up with New Republic. I do have some S&B in my 17 rounder here. I'm just going to take some first shots. I'm not going to turn it around on the target. I am going to shoot at the steel, maybe this Texas Star here, I'm not sure. I am just using the irons. I always do that. I try to shoot the gun just as it comes, and then I'll decide if I want to put an optic on it or not later. And we're just going to get on the targets down there, and then I'll turn the camera around. We'll try to put some on it on the paper at 7 yards. So let's try our luck at the Texas Star. So definitely being a bigger gun, it's nowhere near as snappy as the original. I'm not ready to say it was necessarily fun, but it functioned. As you could see, there were no problems. You can be the judge of the muzzle rise and staying on target. I hit the Texas Star once, it started to spin, and again, these are the very first shots. I did buy this about 4 or 5 days ago, but if I decide I'm gonna buy a gun to do a review, I literally just go buy it. I don't look at it. I don't play or fondle with it in the store. I just take it home. I throw it in the kitchen floor, and when it comes time to go out to the range, I just bring it out at the range. So although I didn't just buy it, it has technically just came out of the box. I didn't clean it, didn't oil it. And of course it did function, and I expected it to. My original Hellcat functioned, I just didn't like it. I was pulling a tad bit left, but the group is good on the target, so I'm gonna move up a little closer. I'm standing at about 13 yards, and I'm going to shoot at some paper here and see how that goes. Okay, so I am standing here at about, like I said, 7 yards, shooting for the red bullseye. And gonna try to slow it down, shoot a little bit slower, just to see, you know, how accurate it is. So it did not lock back on the empty magazine, which that happens pretty frequently with me. I can't talk today because I do have such a high grip, and this one doesn't stick off nearly as far as some, but it didn't lock back. But again, that was probably me and my meaty hands. The group was so-so. I was pulling it left. Again, probably me. Probably has nothing to do with the gun. These are my first shots with this gun, so you know, it might take me a minute to warm up to it. So, you know, that's the fear sometimes in doing these videos and not shooting the gun prior to the video, and trying to be as honest as possible and put everything up just as you got it out of the box, so that you guys know how it functions literally straight out of the box, like you would find it, like you would purchase it. And sometimes you don't have trigger time, and so you can semi embarrass yourself on camera. But the group was okay, not too bad. I hit a few in the red, but I was definitely pulling maybe 1.5 to 2 inches to the left. Again, probably me, just need a little more trigger time with it. So gonna load up a few more magazines, try to get over here on the Texas Star again, maybe some of this steel, try to speed it up a little bit, and once I do that, maybe talk a little bit more about what I think of the gun in general. So I got loaded back up, got a little more. This is actually the New Republic. It cycled fine, it's no problem. Again, I use cheap ammunition because, you know, it's not cheap to buy ammunition for the channel and these reviews. And you guys don't buy me any, you know, somebody send me some ammunition. But either way, got 2 more mags loaded up. I guess that would be, so I got 2 15ers, that's 30. And then what's these other ones? 17. Actually, this is the 15. But whatever that math is, you know I suck at math if you've watched the channel any at all. But I'm gonna put 2 more of these through there, starting with the 17 rounder. Make sure that's right. Yeah, 17 rounder here with the New Republic ammunition. And I don't know, maybe try to speed it up a little bit, get on some of that steel. Probably me on the no locking back. Man, that Texas Star is giving me a fit now. I'm usually pretty good at that thing. Either way, on the steel, wasn't too bad. It's not locking back. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shoot it one-handed, which you probably already saw, and see if it locks back. And if so, then I know for sure that it's me that's doing that and not the magazine. But either way, my thoughts. So I never have. I know people love it. I do like the front sight filling the void of that rear sight. I kind of sort of like the way that is set up. However, that green front, again, if any of you's watched the channel, you know that I prefer an orange or a red, because I am shooting out into the woods here, and that's why I spray paint my targets black, sometimes white, so that it kind of shows up a little bit better when I have a colored front sight. But even still, it gets lost in these green woods sometimes. And so I don't prefer a green sight, front sight, but again, it's not a deal breaker. It's no big deal. I have mixed emotions about the sight system on this and the Echelon, but of course on the Echelon I have a optic on there, so that kind of takes the guesswork out. You can shoot a lot better with those. Although I'm starting to figure out the point of impact versus the point of aim, and I'm sure once I've done that and got some more trigger time with it, that everything would be everything would come around. So as far as shooting the gun, so I did play around with the trigger a little bit in the box. It has a significant amount of take up, but you know, most striker fires do. When it hits a wall, definitely a rolling break. The trigger didn't necessarily sneak up on me, if you will, even though, like I said, it is a rolling break. It does not hit a defined wall and break right there. So still, in my opinion, not a great trigger, but I guess in a defensive gun, whatever, train around it, it'll be fine. But it does hit a wall, and it's a huge rolling break. Reset is pretty far out there. It does, you can feel it pushing back on your finger, although it's really not super audible. It's not the most tactile reset, but again, it is a defensive gun, no doubt about that. It is a deep conceal. Does have a 2-slot light rail up here. Does have a memory pad here where you rest your thumb. I do like the texturing on the grip. It's not overly aggressive. It did not snag on my clothing when I did put it on my side and try to see if my shirt would snag on it. It did not. There's nothing on the gun that is ambi, although it does look as though the mag release can be swapped around. I believe I'm riding the slide lock, but I'm going to find out about that here in just a second. Let's see, front and rear serrations, very functional, very able to use those. Does the comp help? I honestly can't say. And the reason that I honestly can't say is because, again, as mentioned already, I never owned the Hellcat Pro. So over the original Hellcat, heck yeah, you know, is definitely over the Shield Plus carry comp by a whole lot. It's a lot lighter shooting, handles the recoil a lot better. Overall, I don't have anything bad to say about the gun. I enjoyed shooting the gun. And what I always do in the videos is what you guys will have already seen at the front of this video, and that is, because I don't want to sit here and just round after round after round hear me ramble, because I can't afford to put 1,000 rounds through it all in one sitting and do a 1,000 round review like some do, unless I get an ammo sponsor at some point. Lord willing, I will. But I can't sit here and do that. So I typically do 250 to 300 rounds. I'll let you know how many that ends up being. I'm getting ready to do that. Again, you will have already saw it at the front of this video. And as per usual, if there's any problems at the end of this video, I will address those problems, and if I had any at all. So again, I think 4 magazines is plenty enough for me to get a feel for whether or not I like the gun. I will probably shoot on the paper a little bit more and see if I can get a little more accuracy out of it. But again, it is a defensive gun, and back here where I'm at now, standing right here, is at about 11 yards. So that really is not a defensive distance, I suppose. But again, I am pretty consistently and, you know, pretty much with ease hitting these targets as I swap back and forth between them. Texas Star gave me a lot of grief, but whatever, it is a compact gun. I tend to do better with that on guns that are a lot larger, maybe have a red dot on them. Either way, again, I will get this on the tabletop and talk more about the internals, the guide rod, some of the weights, some of the you know, barrel material, slide material, you know, all of the pertinent information that you guys like to know. So stay tuned for that. I will get it on the table as soon as possible. Hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Consider going over, supporting me on Patreon. Don't have to give a lot. Any little bit helps to support so we can continue to keep putting this up. Obviously your thumbs up, obviously your comments, and obviously your subscription helps a great deal as well. Consider subscribing, going over to Patreon. Also, since YouTube is being so hard on gun channels right now, consider going over to Rumble. I'm over there too. I try to upload everything over there. Either way, I hope you enjoy the video. As of now, unless you hear something at the end, I have no problems with it. I think I probably will hold on to it for a while. It ain't all ready for sale like the original Hellcat was. I really, really do enjoy you guys watching the video, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Happy shooting, and God bless.